back on that fucking hype train. Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's 2022 Tournament Game 4, where we are playing Nazca. It's turn 97. Let's jump into this shit, shall we? It's research time. Enchantment level 9 completed. We're on our way to thaumaturgy level 9. Hey, we're not going to make that everything researched by turn 100, but we're pretty close. I mean, I'll take it at the end of the day. Considering our start and how abysmal our research has been through 90% of this game, I'm happy. Like, considering what turn 60 we didn't have a single tier 7? Is that correct? We didn't have fog warriors by that point. We didn't have mass protection by that point. Turn 70, though, is when we start to get those things, I think, is when we're... So, anyways, moving on with my brain. Nazca claims the throne of Gaia in the name of Odysseus, the face painted with bells, the evening star, guardian of the tablets of destiny. Where's my guardian? He over there sleeping. He like 4 feet that way, sleeping. Well, now he's not sleeping because Lippo's walking around. Otis! Yeah, he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm comfy. Anyways, we've claimed the Throne of Gaia, which is cool. So, Throne of Gaia claimed. That puts us at 4 thrones. And my god, did immediately the chat blew up with this shit. And I should not have been surprised. I don't think at the end of the day, I had conversations with Pelagia and Om, and I don't think at the end of the day that either of them is now perturbed. But before I could start having conversations with people, Vanheim was basically like, oh shit, Nazca's going for a throne rush. They're about to have all the thrones that they need to win the game. And it honestly felt like going through this day was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Is everyone really about... We've been gearing up to attack Van for like so many turns now. Are you telling me honestly that everyone is gonna come at me now? That was the moment that I had, and I was like, ah! But no, that is not the case. I do not. That is obviously right. Like Van is deflecting and is trying to be like, oh, see, I'm not the threat. I don't even have that many thrones. Nazca's the problem. No way. Nah, absolutely not. Right. Now, we are 2 thrones off of winning. In theory, we could try to do some Stygian path, astral travel, teleportations, shenaniganry, to try to see how that goes. I don't think that is a valid option for us. I don't think that's... I don't think that we have really a chance of being successful there. There is the possibility that becomes a situation. Obviously, we're going to be on the lookout for it and see how it goes, but I don't know if that's realistic, so, you know. But anyways, we have another throne. The crisis has been diverted. There were conversations with everyone. I verified, you know, I just claimed this 4th throne. I have no armies on any other thrones. It was funny, too, like, talking with Om, Om made it sound like Van had basically insinuated that I had armies on multiple thrones ready to take them. And I was like, that is absolutely patently not the case. I can screenshot every single throne in existence and be like, see? No Nazcan army. No Nazcan army. Right? But yeah, anyways. So that was a fun little freak out moment for this particular turn. We also did a fair amount of site searching. Most of it came to no fruition, except we did find a Lilium Veil in Duspris, so that's kind of cool. Gem income, death +1 per turn, so nice. Not worth it, honestly. We've spent a lot on my OCD site searching over the course of the last, 8 turns or so. But it's not worth it. But it is fun to see those numbers filled out and find a few extra sites and things like that. So yeah, no battles this turn for us or that we saw, except for this, right? This is an event battle. But yeah, we have one event. Magical gems have been found in the split trunk of an oak. So events for the turn for us, 0, negative, and 1 positive. We get nature gems +5. That's kind of cool. A little weird. It feels a little weird to only get one event in a turn, but not the end of the world. What? Oh, we were on a very long... I was like, where's my music? But we're on a very long song that's just now ending. That's why. Oh, Temujin. Temujin. Very cool. All right, we're moving onwards. There's a little battle here. Indies attacking Pelagian Blue Waters. Not Blue Water though, just Blue Waters. I wish I had continued fighting Pelagia. I do not think that in a perfect world it was the correct strategic decision, but it would have been the more fun choice is to just keep fighting Pelagia. But we didn't, so we gotta live with ourselves. That was a slaughter. The Tritons beat the crap out of the Pelagian militia. That's good to know. So we did... There's that. Little bit of scout patrolling back and forth, patrolling all over the place. What's happening? Nothing is happening this turn. Honestly. Basically. This whole turn ended up being me having to spend a fair amount of time diplomancing and explaining to Pelagia. I say explaining. Neither Pelagia or Ohm needed much convincing. But it was very obvious that the way Van had approached the game chat, and I'm assuming sent them messages, it definitely seemed like they had been told that I had multiple armies on thrones, that I was throne rushing and trying to win the game. Other people even came into other people from the tournament were even coming into the game chat being like, oh shit, throne rush, because I think someone posted in the base tournament channel that I was throne rushing, and I was like, I am not throne rushing. I just took one freaking throne off of the dying Arco. Do not at me over this. Oh goodness. Now in theory, Mudwood and Viserion Arches are in our range. We could totally go for them. Oh, and we could try maybe like a teleport play for like Furia instead, right? Like we're a little far away for that one, right? We could bring people down to like the Blackport territory, so we could do this in like multiple jumps. We could bring down to like Baral or Blackport and then hit Furia from there. But yeah, that's a whole thing. But yeah. That was fun. It was kind of stressful, but it was fun to be like, okay, come on, people. This is not what's happening. Let's be serious here. Aside from that, I didn't have the time or energy to really do a whole lot else. But we're kind of done. We're kind of finished. I think personally, we'll turn around and turn 98. I'll have a different thing to say. But I need when I say done, I mean I'm done waiting, right? Like we're probably going to start probing Vanheim, and so we're probably gonna reach out, attack a couple of different locations over here. We have our liches over here. We're probably gonna try doing some ghost riders or manifestations or things like that, and we're just gonna see, right, like how well is Van able to protect the various sides of his empire, right? This might invite Van attacking into us. I'm hoping it's going to spur Ulm into fighting Van. Ulm is still kind of like, it feels they're insistent. You can see this is the back alley dealership kind of shenaniganry that frustrates me, because last turn Van was not on Arco, or sorry, Ulm was not on Arco, Van was. This turn Ulm is on Arco, and I don't think it's because Ulm has attacked Van and knocked Van off of Arco. My assumption is that while all of this shit has been happening, this concept of like me saying, okay, Arco's dead, the time is now, Pelagia, let's have peace, Ulm, Pelagia, we need to attack Van. The entire time, I do not know this, but I'm going to make the assumption that Van is buying off Ulm by saying, look, you can have Arco's capital, right? You can have Green Coast. I bet Green Coast is on the table over there, right? I bet Van's like, no, I'm not gonna go for that. You can have that, right? And I'm just like, mother. Wow. Van has been a very interesting ally throughout this entire game. And I do think that they have been a beneficial ally for us. But there have absolutely been times where us remaining allied to them has, I think, been a hindrance to us. If we had, 20 turns ago decided not to attack Pelagia, but instead attack Ulm, I think we probably would have been able... Probably it's a strong word. I think we might have been able to beat them. And then we would have a different scenario going on at this point. There's a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas, and what ifs and things like that. It's just... For example, when we made the triple alliance with Jotunheim and Ulm against Vanheim, the plan that I had, right, the idea that I had was that, right, I can stay safe by making a back alley deal. But my allies will still come out ahead on this, because together, the two of them will absolutely be able to beat Van. I believe that. I think that's absolutely true. But that didn't happen because Ulm made the same type of back alley deal that I did. Okay, that's the one. Then again, when Ulm and I and Arco, right, are like, oh, Van's too strong, we gotta take Van out, right? What happens? Rather than us actually go to war, Ulm goes for a throne rush, right? So that's number 2. And then we get over here into this situation where it's late game. Van is clearly the front runner, absolutely going to win. We need to attack Van as a triple alliance, as a concerted effort, hit him all over the place as best we can. And what happens? We need to go sooner rather than later, because the longer we wait, the more time Van has to consolidate their power. And what happens? I need a few more turns. Oh, I just need to, I can't fight Van if I'm still trying to finish off the things with Arco. And we see, oh, we've taken this, and then now we're magically on Arco's capital. Now, I will say, it is entirely possible that I'm incorrect. I do not have a scout here. It's entirely possible that I'm incorrect, and that Ulm absolutely knocked Van off of this capital. And if that's the case... Cool. Why didn't you let me know? Why aren't we attacking everywhere this turn? I feel relatively safe in the assumption that Van is buying themselves time by selling provinces to Ulm. And Ulm is taking the deal in the hopes that gaining these things are going to give them an edge. Well, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think ultimately right? Like I do get the appeal, but I think ultimately, every turn that we wait is just more time for Van to put together counters, come up with opportunities, and potentially start moving towards some sort of like game-winning mechanic, right? Because we've talked in the past couple turns about, oh, we planned poorly, we haven't put ourselves, we haven't designed a game-winning mechanic, right? We don't have an idea of, aside from big armies with all of the stuff, which are very beatable, right? We don't have a master and slave plays. We don't have Gift of Nature's Bounty control. We don't have Arcane Nexus control. We don't have Astral Corruption with mass demon summoning, right? Like, we have not established a game-winning condition. Our game-winning condition would basically be like free spawn. But I don't think we have hit the numbers that we need to have hit for that to be the case. We would need to be doing like 50 plus Supaya per turn in one location so that we can like throw all of those on like a Huron Priest. Huron Priest? Yeah, Huron Priest can lead 50. Yeah. So like 50 on a Huron Priest immediately goes to a location. Every turn. Poof, 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 poof. Just send them out so that it's like, deal with 50 Supayas and a Huron Priest every single turn, right? That would be a potential, like, not a game-winning condition, but definitely a game-threatening condition. Anyways, I've gone off on a tangent. Oh, you little fucker. We need to fight Van. We need to fight Van. We are probably going to start attacking Van in the next turn or two, with or without our allies. And when I say with or without our allies, I really mean Ulm. I think Pelagia is ready to attack Van at any time, right? Pelagia has been asking me the last few turns, hey, are we doing this or not, right? So I think Pelagia and I are probably going to be attacking Van in the next turn or two. The only reason I did not probably do it this time is because I was tired and had to do a lot of diplomacy to get the freaking heat off of me for taking the Throne of Gaia. Yay, Throne of Gaia. Yeah. Okay. Anything else really interesting happening? Not really. We're moving another Lich out to Toledo, the resident Lich area. We're continuing to kind of just go about our business as we have been in all of the various locations. We have a deficit of information in the heartlands of Vanheim, so we're trying to fix that, but Van's patrolling almost as much as I'm patrolling, and that's a problem. So, what other shenaniganry do we have going on? We got some recruitment. We got 1 Lizard Shaman, 2 Malkry Priests, 2 Huron Priests, 1 Inca, and 4 Sun Guard. We talked a little bit last time about the idea of needing more Huron Priests to preach. We're also getting an Inca potentially for that idea. Inca are less expensive than Royal Malquis, and I just didn't have the money to do the things that I wanted to do this turn. So investing in an Inca, probably going to send this Inca to Amul to try to preach there, right? So that we have, 1, a better preacher happening there, but 2, also someone who is the divine blessing leader kind of shenanigans in Amul. So we got that going on. And then everything else I think is relatively normal. The Malkui priests, again, we're trying to shore up our long dead. If we could hit 400 or 500 long dead reanimated in a turn, that might start to matter. It might start to matter. It might not. Here's a thing that I really do not like. So Flames from the Sky is a big deal in the late game. And it's a very big deal because of chaff armies, right? obviously it's a big deal because it can threaten mages. So human armies get fucked on. We are kind of in that range of like human armies, so we'll get fucked on by this spell if we're not protecting our mages, which we are trying to do. But also, this is a thing that I actively dislike about Flames from the Sky, and I think this should be a balance point from Flames from the Sky. The Flamestorm will strike an enemy camp within the province with enormous force. Most likely, the majority of the units present in the camp will die from this powerful attack, but since the entire army is rarely gathered in one camp at a given time, only half of the target's army's province can be expected to be struck from the flames. So this will hit half of the army. If you have a 5,000 strong army, it's going to hit 2,500 units. If you have a 300 strong army, it's going to hit 150 units, approximately. It's very close, right, to approximately half. I hate that. I think that's bullshit. This should have a fucking cap on the maximum number of units that it could hit. The idea here being that, oh, it's very rare for an army encampment to be all in one camp. The camps are spread out, so the flames will only hit like 1 or 2 camps. So you're telling me that a 5,000 strong army versus a 300 strong army, or 500 for simplicity of math, a 500 strong army, the 5,000 strong army splits into 2,500 camp sizes, right? Into 2 of those, and they pack that into the same location that a 250 unit sized camp is. That's bullshit. Flames from the Sky, in my opinion, should have a maximum that it can hit. Now, I'm fine with the maximum being relatively high, right? Like, put it at 500, right? Say the maximum number of units that Flames from the Sky can hit is 500, meaning that an army of... And it can still be half, right? Meaning that you say, in order to hit 500 units, right, it has to be targeting an army of 1,000. And then, after that, right, if it's a 1,500 sized army, it's still only going to hit 500. It will only ever hit a maximum of 500. Now, if you cast multiple Flames from the Sky, you cast your first Flame from the Sky, it's a 1,500 target. It kills 500 of those targets because they're all chaff. That drops it down to 1,000. You cast another Flames from the Sky on the same turn. That targets a 1,000-sized stack. It kills, deletes another 500 because, again, it's mostly chaff. Great, cool. Now it's down to 500. It can't hit another 500. It can only hit another 250, right? Like, does that make sense? Is what I'm saying making sense? I don't like the universal power of Flames from the Sky in the late game, because it feels like my army game, which is what this is, right? This is a strategy game where you lead around big armies. You compile. Sure, there's thugging. Sure, there's super combatants. There's everything in between, but big armies, unless they are designed, unless they're demons, eye roll, right? Or unless they're like giant units, but like if you have an army of 500 giants, someone can still throw 6 Flames from the Sky at that fucking thing and nuke them, right? Like it's still possible. So, outside of building specific composite armies, which makes the late game very homogenous and annoying to me, I don't like the supremacy of Flames from the Sky in the late game. The reason I was thinking about this a lot because we got hit. We got hit last time in Obelshin. We lost primarily Long Dead, right? And I was sitting here thinking like, man, how many Long Dead are we going to have to produce to outdo Flames from the Sky in the late game? And then I was like, hold up. We can't. we could produce 2,000 Long Dead every single turn. Flames from the Sky doesn't give a shit, because if we have a stack of 10,000 Long Dead in a location, Flames from the Sky will delete 5,000 of them. And that's ludicrous to me. So anyways, I got off on a tangent because I was talking about, like, we have we are trying to produce more Huron priests for the turn to produce more Long Dead to keep all of that kind of like free spawn concept going. But I don't know that it matters. Obviously, it does. It's one of the options that we have. But I'm kind of having this defeatist moment where I'm like, does it matter? Because like, I don't like that. I don't like it. Moving on. So that was, did I actually do recruitment? I've been talking about this for 10 minutes on its own. Recruitment for the turn, we did 1 Lizard Shaman, 2 Malku Priests, 2 Huron Priests, 1 Inca, and 4 Sun Guard. We totally already went through that. I'm going to notate it here again just because I didn't notate it the first time. And then we'll jump into Nazca recruits, 57 Hatan Runa this turn. So that's a jump up. Is there a reason for us to be producing Hatan Runa? No, probably not. But at this point, we're not losing a drastic amount by doing it. So I don't really care. It's just a thing to do. So 57 Hatan Runa, 347 Long Dead Warriors this turn. 36 recalled Supayas. We're really trying to amp up the Supaya numbers. With 2 summoned Supayas for another 14. This is the first time we have hit 50 Supayas in a single turn. Well, I kind of want to try to hit that 50 consistently and see if that is going to make a difference in the late game. I don't know what that is. And we have 1 summon Huaka for 7 more Huakas. I should probably stop producing Huakas. Because I should probably be saving my Astral at this point. For either Master and Slave boosters or Astral Travel plays, or if the game goes fucking long enough, something like Arcane Nexus, but I don't think that that's going to happen. We also have more special recruits this turn. 1 Dire Wolf, 1 Dustwalker, 1 Air Elemental, 3 Sylphs, 3 Earth Gnomes, and 3 Sprites, because where are we at? We're summoning Sprites down in Sat-Randeth. Why are we summoning Sprites in Sat-Randeth and not other places? A good question. There's not a great answer. I don't like Sprites. I think Sprites are very, very niche. I think in very specific situations, they're very useful. All the rest of the time, they are as much a detriment. They are typically more of a detriment than help. However, I think I just did this on a whim, honestly. And I probably should be doing it with my other Fairy Queens. I have another Fairy Queen there. I have another Fairy Queen over here. I should probably be doing it with them. I should definitely be doing Earth Elementals on Barathras. This is kind of like the inconsistency. This is the scenario of, in the late game, when you have like 3 days to do a turn, and you've got so many different ideas, or we're not even doing a lot. Like, we're not scripting a lot. We're not doing a whole hell of a lot or anything like that. But with the combination of real life scenarios and having to do a whole lot of diplomacy here, I basically came to this turn and I was like, okay, what the fuck do I need to get done this turn? Right? So unfortunately, not as many special recruits as we probably should. Sprites, I'm just not a fan of. Just not a fan of Sprites. Do we have any Sprites? We'll have some Sprites next turn. We'll look at Sprites next turn. Sprites they're interesting for doing, I think, early fatigue plays against like gods or things like that are giving you trouble. But I do not think that Sprites in the late game really do anything. I wish they had like a touch attack that also drained, but they don't. They only have their little fairy arrow. Anyways, moving on. What do we got? We have a massive whopping 2 rituals this turn. 1 arcane probing, 1 dark knowledge. That's it. That's it. A combination of things here. 1, we just don't have a lot going on this turn. 2, I'm trying to save gems because I need to be able to outfit armies. We're potentially going to attack like Monherboa or something like that, right? Maybe Cliffport. We're potentially going to go at one of these locations pretty soon, and we need gems to be able to survive gem baiting and things like that. So we also, I'm just growing more and more suspicious every turn that Van is going to eventually try to make a play for something, and that we will need to do some astral traveling or some Stygian pathing or things like that. So, Ultimate Gateway, 6 astral saved, 8 death saved. Simple, easy peasy, regular turn. How's it going, Otis Babotis? Odie Babody boy. Okay. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch it. Sir. Don't touch my stuff. Okay. Alright. Okay, Papa. We got last things for the turn. Forging 3 Amulets of the Dead, 2 Slave Matrices, 1 Endless Bag of Wine, 2 Demon Banes, 1 Water Bracelet, and 1 Water Lens. Nothing really different than what we normally do. Or nothing new compared to other stuff, right? I can't type this freaking turn. God. The Amulets of the Dead, we do that whenever we need to, right? We do that whenever we need to just maximize the efficiency on the individuals that we're recruiting for long dead production. The slave matrices, I think, are the only like super interesting thing here, aside from the demon banes, right? We're trying to stockpile demon banes so that whenever we toss an army, it's somewhat protected. The slave matrices, we are trying to put more effort into accruing, right? So we have 4 right now. We want to have at least 8. We might try to go upwards of 12. If the game goes long, we might go further and we might try to put together like a 30 stack army of Aklas with slave matrices, right? Just, it's an option, right? We probably won't do that, but it is an option. Because we can, if we have something like that, not only can we do the Aklas, right, but we can do, sorry, not only can we do the Aklas as slaves in the communion, right, for something like a master and slave play, or just for a giant communion, we can turn the Aklas, right, like a slave matrix is the same to make as a crystal matrix, right? So we could put a couple of crystal matrices on some Aklas, and we can do, you know, if we had 30 Aklas, which we absolutely have, we could have 20 of those be freaking communion slaves, and we could have 20 of those be, or 10 of those be communion masters, and we could have a pretty scary Pillars of Fire communion. So basically, this is something that doing 2 of these per turn is well within our capabilities. Alternatively, we could just save our gems to try to make some big play. I don't know if we're going to have time to do that. So having, here's the thing, having an 8 stack of slave matrices means that we can try to make some different plays. Even just a 4 communion slaves, 4 communion Aklas, and then 4 master Aklas, right? Means that we get some more Pillars of Fire than we otherwise would have, right? So whatever, it is what it is. Just trying to do some stuff. Everything else is normal. The Demon Banes, the Water Bracelets, Water Lenses, all of that stuff. And I've kind of waxed poetically about the situation. We did our Dominions pushing a little bit. We got Dominion in Obelshin now. Very nice. We're going to continue to preach there, and hopefully we're going to see a connection bridge over here. I need to get some more preachers underwater. We do have that plan. Again, we're recruiting more Huron priests than we have had previously. We are trying to preach absolutely everywhere that we can. We can see the Dominion in Old Man Mountains and in Barra is basically neutral at this point, right? I should probably be getting rid of my Paquos because they're actually probably hurting me at this point with the heretic situation. But it is what it is. Yeah, I should at the very least be moving them into like go move all of my Paquos into a mule to eat these candles. I think that's how it works, right? Because you can like. I don't know that this is how it works, but it might delete. It might eat whatever Dominion is there. We need to get a preacher in Underhome. We need a preacher in Packwoods. We need to get preachers. Preachers in internal scenarios matter less because these places already have a very high amount of our Dominion, so we can't really preach that up. But we could be preaching in other locations, absolutely. So we're gonna try to get that done. Anyways, that is going to be the end of this turn. I'm expecting more exciting action in the next few turns because I'm just tired of waiting. And that's probably going to get me killed, but it is what it is. Go. Play. Survive the crazy early game that I did. Bide my time for 70 turns. Fight a mini war. And then get impatient and attack Vanheim and just die. That's what's going to happen. Bye-bye, everybody!
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.